Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hey guys, Sam Cawthorn here, and welcome to another awesome episode of Industry Authority. Now, for those of people that actually have only just joined us, we've already shot 8 other episodes. And one thing I just love about becoming an industry authority is that you stand out, because now we believe that it's time for you to be recognized as an industry authority, no matter what industry that you are in. And so our first 4 episodes, we focused a lot on positioning, which is all about how can you stand out from the crowd? How can you position yourself as an authority of your space? Because as you know, right now in everyone's space, it's more saturated than any other time in history. So it's no longer good enough for you to just have another message or another product or another service like everyone else. You need to learn how to disrupt and stand out and position yourself as not only an expert or a thought leader, but as an authority of your space. So our first 4 episodes were specifically around that. Our next 4 episodes were all specifically around the platform. So for those people that don't know, as I was saying, my name is Sam Cawthorn, and I'm a professional speaker based here in Sydney in Australia. And so as you can see, I've only got one arm. I do live with a disability because a few years ago, I had a major car accident, and it was my fault. I fell asleep when I was driving along. I veered over the other side of the road, and it was a 206-kilometre head-on collision with a semi-trailer truck. And my arm was ripped off in that accident. And so it was really interesting, me then navigating through going back to that same job, which was actually with the Australian federal government as a youth futurist. But then I didn't want to just bounce back to that same job after my car accident. What I really wanted to do, I wanted to bounce forward into what I could become. And so over the last few years, I've actually developed my whole entire IP around not just bouncing back from adversity, but bouncing forward into what we can become. So I've become a professional speaker. Now I've spoken in 36 countries. I've released 6 books. And so for those next 4 episodes that we did, we specifically spoke about platform. It was more around how to communicate effectively. How do we master communication for influence? And so over the 4 episodes, we looked at non-verbal intelligence. We looked at all areas of how to write and perform a keynote presentation, how to master communication in all forms of whether you're in the boardroom, whether you're in the sales meeting, or if you're doing a presentation, and so on and so forth. So the next 4 episodes now, we'll be specifically looking at packaging. So this is all about how do we package our intellectual property, so everything is going on in here. How do we get that out, and how do we package this in a way that our message is being heard globally while we sleep? So I'm going to give you a whole heap of tools and formulas and strategies on how you can get your message out there in the marketplace. So over the last few years, I've actually developed an amazing social media platform, which means every 7 days, we reach between 15 to 20 million people every week. How do we do that? I'm going to show you how to do it over the next 4 episodes, and I'm going to give you some real insights and tools and strategies, etc. So the very first part of our packaging next 4 episodes, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on how to create a winning personal brand, how to create your winning personal brand and value proposition. One thing that I have found specifically in this saturated market is people follow people. Is that we no longer just want to follow another brand or another product or, sort of another company. We love following people, and nowadays we're looking at these sort of micro celebrities or these people that are position themselves well. The bottom line is this: people don't book Bounce Forward to speak on their stage. They book Sam Cawthorn. So in order for you to become an industry authority, you must understand how you can create your winning brand and your winning value proposition. So we're going to be spending a bit of time on this. And also with that as well is then how to attract attract media. As we all know, particularly in this saturated market, the people that are creating those winning brands are the people that are actually immerse themselves in media and actually getting those media opportunities. So, without anything more to do, I now want to talk to you about how to win media attention. What do we need to do in order so we can win media attention time in and time out? So I want you, if you can, is grab your pens and paper, because I'm going to go through this quite fast, and there's 6 individual areas in how you can win media attention. So the first one is this, is your clarity of uniqueness. First of all, you need to understand, are you unique? And if you're not unique, then you're in this saturated market where everyone else is. So for us, we need to work out exactly what is our unique value proposition. What makes us stand out from everyone else? And not only that, then how do we articulate our own unique value proposition? So this is all about what we talked about in one of our previous episodes, which is our why this, our why me, our why now. Really understanding our actual core why and understanding what our message is and how unique that is. Also on top of that is our unique visual appearance as well. So as you can see, my unique visual appearance is only having one arm. Sometimes I put on this bionic arm, and at the moment my bionic arm is halfway from here in Australia through to Scotland, where it's actually being repaired. But my latest bionic arm is very, very cool. I can program it with my iPhone 6 and, works via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It's very super cool. But one thing I've noticed is that the reason why I'm standing out is because I know my own uniqueness. I know how to stand out. And whatever you have to stand out, whether it's your vibrant personality, whether it's your real intellectual expertise, or whether it's your hat on backwards or glasses, we know other people's value proposition. What does Bono? Bono always wears his glasses. What does Pharrell Williams always has that hat? You always see Gaga always dressed in weird and wonderful way. What is your own uniqueness, and why do you stand out from everyone else? And maybe it is your intellectual property, or maybe it's something visual in your own visual appearance. There's this one lady here in Australia, and her own uniqueness is in her own visual appearance, which means this: she always wears red. So no matter what, if she's going to a function, if she's on TV, if she's doing another video, if she's in a photo shoot, she always wears the same shade of red with everything that she does. And so my question to you is, what clarity of uniqueness do you have? Which then brings me to the next point here, is what do you need to do to stand out disruptively? So it's not only just about being unique, but how can you be more disruptive? And we spoke a lot about being disruptive in one of our other episodes, because the people that are right now being disruptive, they're the people that are standing out. They're not talking what everyone else is saying, they're doing things differently. So instead of sort of saying, oh, look, I can go onto media and I can talk about the 5 areas of goal setting, that's not disruptive. That's not standing out. One thing that would stand out is something like why goal setting is killing your future. I mean, look, for me, 5 reasons why we should goal setting, or why goal setting is killing our future. For me, that is disruptive. Obviously, then you need to back that up. Another one is, could be around health. The 6 principles of eating well and exercising so you lose weight. I mean, no one really wants to know that, because we all know that if we exercise and eat well, we're going to lose weight. And so one thing that we want to find out is, how can you stand out disruptively, such as why you need to eat chocolate cake to lose weight. I mean, for me, that is disruptive. So what are you doing right now to creating a method or a message that is standing out disruptively? Because that is how we get media attention. The next level is this: get some wow research. One thing I've found is that media love publishing some wow research, some research that's not like everyone else, what everyone else is saying, but some research that's really in your face. Let me give you some wow research that we're currently seeing here in Australia. 92% of Australians right now feel unfulfilled in their jobs. That's a wow piece of research. Another wow piece of research is this. Depression rates today are 10 times greater than what they were in the 1930s Great Depression. That's another wow quote or a wow piece of research. One thing I've found is that media love the wow stuff, the things that stand out, the things that when people, general audience, when they hear it, they go, oh, or they go, oh, I can't believe that, or whatever that might be. Media loves that wow stuff. So what do you need to do to go out and find some wow research and then learn to memorize it as well? I do a lot of wow research and some charity stuff that I do. So I run this charity which is called Caring for People, which is helping kids that live with a disability in developing world. So let me give you some wow quotes specifically on that. 1 in every 5 people in the world live with a disability. 88% of disabilities are invisible. 80% of people that live with a disability live in developing worlds, and 8 out of 10 of these kids will not at all have a chance for an education. Not even the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals, directly address kids that live with a disability. And the reality is this. Poverty will never be history until such time as disability is put on the agenda. Now, as you just saw just then, what I've just done, I've given you a whole heap of wow research and wow quotes that make people think, whoa, that's crazy. That's what media want. And in order for you to stand out and be disruptive, you need to find out what is the wow pieces of research that you can find, that you can memorize in order for you to stand out and get some media attention. Next one is this, is watch for cues. And this is about being reactive to media and reactive to the current stories that are happening in media at the moment. I'll give you an example. After 9/11, the most sought after thought leaders and experts and authorities there within New York City and within, like the business and the banking hub there, was all the thought leaders and experts on ethics and integrity, which is really, really fascinating. Here in Australia, there was a massive big downturn in the last few years on the car manufacturing space, meaning that most of our major car manufacturers had all closed down. And during this closed down period, one of my friends who's a thought leader and expert in the whole area of crisis turnaround, saw the news and saw what was happening. He then got in contact with these car manufacturers, and before you know it, he then was hired by these car manufacturers for 6 months plus, and he became an industry authority. Why? Because he watched for cues within media. And one thing I want to encourage you is that what is currently happening in the economic industry within your space, or whatever that might be, and how can you be reactive when it does come to the stories that are currently happening in news, because that's where talk show hosts, that's what they love talking about, and that's what they love being. So it's not about necessarily being proactive when it does come to media. It's more about being reactive when you do.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.